wanted to get on here and do a quick video so that I could show you these new book covers, which I absolutely love. These are my author copies. That's why there's this grey band across the middle. Obviously that grey band isn't there when you buy your own copy, but look at this. So this is a re-release of the paperback with these new covers, which I absolutely just adore. There are 2 books in this series, and I don't talk about this series enough, because when you write multiple genres and when one of your genres takes off, sometimes people don't really pay attention to the other stuff that you write, and I also don't talk about them as much as I should. So I thought I would just talk a little bit about this duo of books here. There is scope for me to write one more book, which I may do in a few years' time. These are contemporary romances, modern romances, very lovely, easy beach reads, but there's a lot of depth in these pages as well. That's not just a light, fluffy read. It is a book about the protagonists finding themselves, discovering who they are. That kind of underlines all of my books. You probably really like this series if you like the films Practical Magic or Lake House, or Bridget Jones's Diary, Me Before You. Definitely the second book has some very difficult questions that the protagonists need to answer, need to question themselves over, and it has that Me Before You kind of feel to it. So that is the kind of thing you're looking at if you're thinking about picking up these books. I'm going to read a little excerpt from each of them for you now so you can get a feel for them. But if you go to Amazon and you click on the look inside button of the Kindle versions, these are available as ebooks as well across lots of platforms, by the way. Click on the look inside of the Kindle version and you're going to get a good 10% sample of each of these books, and that's going to give you a good idea as well about what they're like and whether you might like them or not. But I just wanted to get on here and show you, especially because I'm really pleased with these new covers. I am over the moon with them. Out of all the paperbacks that I've got, they are amongst my top favourites for look and feel. You'll know what I'm talking about if you're a bookworm, but that feeling you get when you pick up and hold a paperback and you just get that lovely feeling inside where you've got like someone's life in your hands, you've got these stories in your hands, you know. So let me know what you think. If you do have a read of them, let me know if you enjoyed them, and I hope you enjoy the excerpts. She gathered herself, turned around, and walked up Candy's driveway, refusing to look as he started the engine and pulled away. Her heart hurt at the sound of it fading, a torturous déjà vu, and when she eventually allowed herself to glance back at the empty road, she couldn't help but wonder if she'd just failed some cosmic test. Now the pangs of anxiety climbed up her body. She trembled as she focused on her breathing and tried to calm herself down. She had done the right thing. She didn't want to hurt Jamie, and she didn't want to cheat on Michael. You didn't run away for some noble reason. You ran because you're scared. That isn't right either. She heavily shut the front door once inside and leaned against it, fighting the memory of how Jamie had felt under her palms, under her lips. So different from what had happened that time at her friend's house. Yeah, some friend. Shit, she didn't want to think about that, for fuck's sake. What was real and what wasn't? She was messing everything up again and she didn't know how to put it right. She rummaged through her handbag for her phone, and for what seemed like the millionth time, groaned in frustration at the zero indication that Michael was even still alive. Every time she tried to make things right, they just went wrong, and that god-awful feeling remained that she'd just gotten a big F in the great exam of life. Would she get another chance? How many chances was she allowed? Once, times, thrice, answered a voice in her head, and then you're out. Pippa cringed at the sound of a clatter by her feet, not understanding what had caused it until she realised her bracelet had come off her wrist. Bloody thing, it's been falling off its catch for months. Why don't you get it fixed? Never mind that. 2 pairs of eyes were pinned on her, and she'd just been caught red-handed, eavesdropping. Napkins, she stated, holding up the paper things. Blew in from outside. Jimmy's smile grew wide, and those butterflies in her stomach lurched, as they do when you get caught eavesdropping. He took a step towards her and then stopped, and they both stood there, until standing there grew a little awkward. She felt a pull to greet him in a hug the same way her mum had. In comparison to that, she just seemed distant and cold. But that wasn't the way she'd ever been with Jimmy, so yeah, there she stood, with napkins. "I'll take those," said her mother, collecting the napkins from her hands and 2 others she'd failed to pick up off the floor. Her mother also came back up with her bracelet, handing it to her in exchange for the napkins. "This is so pretty." Pippa stared at the silver chain decorated by a selection of tree charms. "Thanks," she found herself replying. "David bought it for me." Her words seemed to hang heavy in the air, and she suddenly wished she hadn't brought up David. "That's why you refused to fix the bracelet, isn't it? It would somehow taint it, to have it changed from how he gave it to you."